Shinandaya Surajaya Jaya Gopaka Shinandaya Surajaya Jaya Gopaka Shri Ramadi Jaya Jaya Deno Vatsagana Shri Ramadi Jaya 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 Vishavano Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Vishavano Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamasti Jaya Bira Nagari Jaya Purnamasti Jaya Bira Nagari Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavana Mas Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavana Mas Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Patu Dijaraj Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Patu Dijaraj Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Jaya Vrindavan Bhaktijata Jan Jaya Jaya Vrindavan Bhaktijata Jan Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagam Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagam Bhakti Teja Hara Pailo Govinda Charan Bhakti Teja Hara Pailo Govinda Charan Shirasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Shirasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Savo Manoram Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Savo Manoram Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Star Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Star Parakhiya Bhave Jata Ya Bhajate Prachar Parakhiya Bhave Bhajate Prachar Shri Janava Padapatma Kariyasmaran Shri Janava Padapatma Kariyasmaran Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan 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 Hey Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jai Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan.
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan.
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtadhara Saraswati A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Nitai Sachi Sutta ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Shabhadra ki, Shri Shri Radha Parasiswara ki, Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki, Shri Shri Damodarastakam ki jai, Shri Kartika Vrata ki jai, All Premanandi, all Twantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru Garanga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Vidaya, Krishna Vishtaya, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinam, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Vicharini, Nevasesha Sanyavadi, Pasticha Deshatari. I need the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam.
Which chapter?
Chapter, I think it's 9, I'm not sure, but it's the binding, Mother Yasoda binding Lord Krishna. I don't know if it's in there or not. Because they were now in the month of Kartik Damodar Mass, so we discussed with Jiva Pran this morning, we'll have class from the chapter on Mother Yasoda binding Krishna. Is that okay? Don't mind. Anyway, it's agreed by the temple president, so I guess we'll do it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 I notice on this very special tissue box, love, 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 everywhere love. I'm not sure what it's referring to, but this pastime of Damodar Leela is practically the personification of love. Even Radharani, even Krishna is amazed. Krishna is himself absolutely stunned by the love of Mother Yasoda. Everyone's stunned. Radharani is overwhelmed in a kind of a jealous ecstasy that how Mother Yasoda has bound Krishna, tied him up, lock, stock and barrel, completely captured him. And this is not just a pastime, but it's a personification of the unlimited depths of loving relationships. And we're hoping the book will come shortly. I don't know what's happened here. Where's the book? Don't tell me you don't have one. What's the use of a library when you don't have a book?
You want the phone in March?
No, I don't. I can't use the phone. How can I use a book?
I know. First part is not, we are not finding first.
9 chapter.
Chapter 9.
Actually, we have a book.
Part 2.
The first 5 chapters, that 14 to 45, those middle chapters are missing.
I can open it for you.
We made a whole arrangement for the whole Bhagavatam set to be there. Where's it gone?
Maybe it's in the box. Open the box.
On Vedas.
Well, Vedabase is better than nothing, but that's really not what I like using. I mean, I love Vedabase, but I don't like using a computer when we can use a book. That is. I can't imagine Prabhupada sitting there with a computer in front of him.
Which text?
At least not giving class. I did the voice. They give class from a mobile phone nowadays. It's quite amazing. Well, this is not much use, is it? That's just the text.
Yeah. Do you have a specific text?
Huh?
Have a specific text?
I need the purport.
Yeah, which one?
Well, we're starting from the beginning. But this is not the real one. This is the online one, I think. Bring my computer down. I get the best. Bring my computer. I'm used to that. This is online. I don't like online one very much. Well, it's okay. You can use it. There's no search reference proper. It's not a proper search reference. You need a hard copy. Even to the extent, I will come to that later. Next one. Let's see what we have. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna. So reading from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 9, Mother Yasoda binds Lord Krishna. Text number 1 and 2. And we'll just chant number 1. Is it on the board? Shri Shuka Vacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Ekada Grihadashishu
Ekada Grihadashishu
Jashoda Nanda Gehini
Yashodananda Geni
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Nirmamanta Svayang Dadi
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Shri Shuka Vacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Ekada Grihadashishu
Ekada Grihadashishu
Jashoda Nanda Gehini
Yashodananda Geni
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Nirmamanta Svayang Dadi
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Shri Shuka Vacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Ekada Grihadashishu
Ekada Grihadashishu
Yashoda Nanda Gehini
Yashodananda Geni
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Nirmamanta Svayang Dadi
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Vacha
Ekada Grihadashishu
Ekada Grihadashishu
Yasodananda Gehini
Yashodananda Geni
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Shri Shuka Vacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Ekada Grihadashishu
Ekada Grihadashishu
Yashodananda Gehini
Yashodananda Geni
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha Ekada Grihadashishu
Yashodananda Geni
Yashodananda Gehini
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Karmantarani Yuktasu
Nirmamanta Swayam Dadi
Nirmamanta Svayam Dadi. Ladies, Shri Shuka Vacha Ekada Grihadashishu Yashodananda Gehini Karmantarani Yuktasu Nirmamanta Svayam Dadi. Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Sukadeva Goswami said, Ekada, one day, Grihadashishu, when all the maidservants of the household were otherwise engaged. Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, Nandagini, the Queen of Nanda Maharaj, Karama Antara, in other household affairs, Niyuktasu, being engaged, Nirmamanta, churned. How far does text 1 go now? Let's see. No, Spayam Daddy. Huh? What were they doing? Churn, they're churning. Huh? Spayam, personally. And what are they churning? Daddy, the yogurt. And the next verse, we won't read the word for it, just quickly read the verse. Yani yani ha gitani tad bala charitani cha dadi nirmantane kale maranti tanya gayata. These are 2 opening verses of this 9th chapter. Mother Yasoda binds Lord Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, one day, when Mother Yasoda saw that all the maidservants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities. Many points in this verse and purport by Srila Prabhupada, which are very relevant to us. It's not just purification by hearing, but it's realization by practical understanding. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, this is Prabhupada's purport, quoting from the Vaishnava Toshani of Srila Sanatana Goswami, says that the incident of Krishna's breaking the pot of yogurt and being bound by Mother Yasoda took place on the Dipali day, or Deepamalika. So that, of course, is in a few weeks' time. The actual event took place during this month on that particular day. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very gorgeously in the month of Kartik by fireworks and lights, especially in Bombay, or Mumbai, as we now call it. These celebrations in this month has several significant festivals, Diwali being one of them, and for the aspiring devotees, those who are trying to follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vrindavan particularly, this pastime is very, very, very significant. There are 2 major pastimes in this month which are extremely significant in terms of, let's say, learning and hearing and memorizing and so on. One of them is this one, the Damodar Leela, and the other one? Pardon? Govardhan Puja. There are others too. This is a questionable one. The appearance of Radhakund is questioned by certain Vaishnavas. But we generally celebrate that, or at least recognize it during this month. And quite a few others, Gopastami, several other events which are very significant and very, let's say, nectarian. But this one taking place, celebrations. Just recently we were reading from Narottam Das Thakur's biography by Sitala Mataji, and describing the actual festivals of the installation of the deities in Keturia, at the great Gopurnim, the first Gopurnim festival, we're bringing all the devotees together. And there, as that day of Gopurnima is also known as, in India, Holi. Every year you'll see, if you ever are in India on Gopurnim Day, especially in Vrindavan or Braj, it's a very spectacular event. And it's extended now to more than just the morning of Holi festival. It goes on for more than a week, and it's become a little bit unruly in many cases, a little bit wild. We happened to arrive there. Jivananda Prabhu, you were with me when we arrived in Vrindavan this year, wasn't it? On Ekadashi day. We arrived in Vrindavan.
Yes.
And unbelievable experience of Vrindavan. Nanda was with us. Was anyone else here with us? Ekanath was with us, wasn't he?
I was.
Oh, you were also with us when we arrived. So it was like probably the biggest crowd of the year on Brajman and Braj Parikrama around the town of Vrindavan Parikrama. They estimate how many days. There's over 1 million pilgrims on the Parikrama path that day, more than 1 million. You could hardly move. And it was a Kadashi, so it wasn't actually Diwali, but it was a few days off. But it was absolutely packed. And it was everywhere you go. The people were just throwing dyes in every direction, isn't it? It was really a festival of, well, what can you say? You just have to let go. If you try to fight against it, you'll be in hell. Absolute hell. Crowded. My glasses got ruined during the festival also. And covered. No, we didn't get too badly covered, but I mean, they're using dyes which you can get off more now. In the old days, you could not get them off. They would be, stuck on your cloth for the rest of your life, practically. And even on your face, you have to scrub and scrub and scrub for days to get all the marks off your face. It's not quite so severe these days, but it's prolonged over many, many days in different parts of Braj. But this we were reading in Narottam. It's very fascinating because he said that after the installation, then Janava called for all the dyes. She called for all the colors. And they had a total festival of Holi. Total. Vaishnavas. They're just going wild, throwing dyes at each other. So it's not just something which, the Hindus celebrate, This is very traditional amongst Gaudiya Vaishnavas, established by Janava, at least maybe before, but she herself definitely instigated it there in Kateri. So it's authorized. I don't know if we do it here in temple here in Paris. Just be a little bit, conscious of what's going on. So that takes place on the Diwali day. Even today, Prabhupada says, fireworks, lights. It is to be understood that among all the cows of Nanda Maharaj, several of Mother Yasoda's cows ate only grasses so flavorful that the grasses would automatically flavor the milk. And they do. One devotee was telling me recently that they were in, I think it was Bulgaria, and was it you, Jivana? Tell us what you told me that, something about the cow's milk or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, because that area is salty, so the grass is also salty, so the cows who eating that grass produce milk which is also salty. So when they make barfi, it's like quite special taste of barfi with little like caramel and salt together. It's really special.
Amazing. I mean, normally we don't equate salt with milk, but there's not much choice there because it's right on the coast and the sea. What is it, the Black Sea? I think it's very salty, isn't it, the Black Sea? I think it's extremely, some of the seas over there are very salty. So the grass, which is near the sea, is also very salty. And the cow's milk is very salty. Now, that's not normally something we aspire for. It's certainly something we don't create. But there's a little difference here, because this is transcendental pastimes. But the grass that these... Mother Yasoda had a lot of cows, isn't it? How many? 9 lakhs, 900,000. And she selected the 100, the most, the topmost of those cows, and she fed them with the best of the best of the best grass. And that grass was so sweet, it was like sweeter than gulab jamuns practically. So the cows were eating that grass, so their milk was just so sweet, so sublime. And there's a story behind that, which is, there are different stories. They're inferred indirectly here. And they will mention, let's read on. Mother Yasoda's cows ate only grasses so flavorful that the grasses would automatically flavor the milk. So it's a fact. It's quite miraculous, isn't it? Cows, they don't eat much besides grass. I mean, they'll eat other vegetables and this and that. But generally, in a normal situation, they eat primarily grass, isn't it? They love grass. And that's basically it. And what a miracle, isn't it? You just eat grass. Can you do that? If we feed you grass, can you produce milk? They just eat grass, and at the other end, milk comes out. It's quite astonishing how it works, isn't it? Of course, you could say the same thing about any mother. I mean, they produce milk, but they don't, or maybe they drink milk also, of course. But it's still miraculous. Mother Yasoda wanted to collect the milk from these cows, make it into yogurt, and churn it into butter, personally, since she thought that this child Krishna was going to the houses of neighborhood gopas and gopis to steal butter because he did not like the milk and yogurt ordinarily prepared. So you've heard this pastime, but it's always purifying to hear them, and it helps to draw our consciousness a little bit towards where we should be. The previous chapter was describing how baby Krishna, he's about 3 years old at this time, how he would go to the neighboring houses and steal, along with Balaram also sometimes, and steal, create all kinds of mischief, but particularly to steal not just the butter and yogurt, but the sweets also, all kinds of milk products. And this would be very unsettling for the other gopas and gopis. Your son, Mother Yasoda, your son is coming to our houses and stealing the butter and yogurt. And well, why don't you hide it? Well, even if we hide it, he somehow or other finds a way to get there. And even in the dark, we keep it in the dark places, hanging high, but your boy has some kind of effulgence. We're not sure what is going on here, but he seems to see in the dark, and he finds a way, even if he can't reach it, he simply, with a stick, he breaks the pots hanging up on the ceiling and creates, and if he can't get there, then he pees on the floor, passes urine everywhere. And then he also pinches our babies and makes them scream. He's such a naughty boy, you have to do something about him. What will he be when he grows up? God only knows. God does only know. And Yasoda, looking at her innocent-looking little child, of course there's many, many pastimes related to Krishna tricking the gopis into making them look like fools. But that, aside from that, Mother Yasoda is thinking, what am I going to do with my son? We have 100,000, or whatever it is, nurses looking after him, making sweets day and night, making butter, yogurt, everything for him. And he's still not satisfied. He's going next door. If you ever see cows in a field, it's quite common. It's not always there, but it's a very common event. They've got a nice big field of grass, and they have a fence. And some or other, they're trying to get their noses through the fence to eat the grass on the other side. And they're thinking, we have a saying in English, the grass is always greener on the other side. You heard that one? The grass is, we always think that we can get more happiness from another, somewhere else, or this or that. More taste or something. Same thing, in one sense, but this idea that it can be more, we're always hankering like that. So, Krishna also, the main reason is to increase the pleasure pastimes. To increase the pleasure pastimes and to intensify the loving relationship. So Krishna wasn't short of plentiful supply of numerous sweets, as many as he wanted, and unlimited butter and yogurt. But still he's going to the other gopis' houses and having fun. To have fun, yes, that's there. To increase their pleasure, to leave pastimes which others can hear about, and to show the intensity of the love of Mother Yasoda, especially. Krishna performed this pastime. So Mother Yasoda is thinking what to do. He's not satisfied, my child. I have to do something. I don't have to chastise him, but, well, I'll have to do everything myself, she was thinking. Because Krishna is controlled by love, not by rules and regulations, but by love. So she was thinking like that. She thus, as this Prabhupada describes here, personally herself churning the yogurt to make it into butter, maybe other things too. And she was also cooking milk, and that will come up later, which was in the kitchen. And he was preparing all the milk preparations for Krishna. That was the idea. So, with the hope that will bind him up and he won't go off elsewhere. A common thing, especially amongst Indian families, that they try to tie up their child so he doesn't go anywhere. You're marrying him off early in life or something, so he doesn't become a Hare Krishna devotee or whatever it is. Something crazy like that. Bind him down. We see this recurring event even in Chaitanya Lila. So like that. While churning the butter, so that's two things, isn't it? What are those two things that have been mentioned so far? Who can say? The 2 points.
Special grass is given to the cow.
Yeah, part of that particular pastime, that Mother Yasoda, in order to capture Krishna herself, took it upon herself to prepare all the milk sweets and preparations for Krishna. And the other point, which was mentioned earlier, that's more of a historical event.
This happened on Diwali day?
Yeah, that this pastime takes place in great pomp and joy on the day at which is celebrated as Diwali. A great festival. It's a very important festival for Vaishnavas. Maybe for different reasons, but those who are following in the footsteps of the Brajbasis, that this is the important point of the day. Those who are Ram Bhaktas, they have another, general devotees, maybe another reason why they celebrate Diwali the way people do. So then we go on to another one. While churning the butter, Mother Yasoda was singing about the childhood activities of Krishna. She wasn't just churning, she was singing about Krishna's pastimes. So this is the nature of the Nityasiddhas. We're trying to follow in their footsteps. The Nityasiddhas mean the eternal associates of the Lord. We're trying to follow in their footsteps, and even they are engaged in constant Sankirtan. constantly chanting the holy names or the pastimes, qualities of Krishna. It was formerly a custom that if one wanted to remember something constantly, he would transform it into poetry or have this done by a professional poet. Song. We have the songs of Narottam Das Thakur and Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Lochan Das Thakur and others. And they're very beautiful, they're poetic, very poetic. They're not just some ranting of a crazy man. They're done poetically. They're in the love or the bhav, or various emotions are there, but they're done in a very poetic form so that they're easy to sing. It's like we just sang Jai Radhe Jaya Krishna, rhythmic. Generally song doesn't have to be all kinds of different styles, but quite often it's, even in the Western world, it's rhythmic. So particularly the Sanskrit, everything is rhythmic. So to help the general people and to absorb our own hearts in Krishna consciousness, they would sing, recite these pastimes of Krishna or the philosophy of Krishna consciousness in very poetry, but in rhythmic poetry. It can be sung very nicely. Generally, we see Chaitanya Bhagavat in particular is a series of songs, basically speaking. Beautifully sung. Even Bhagavatam, you sing the song. It's a song. Every word is a song. It's a song. The song. Bhagavad Gita is Gita, song. The song of God. It's a song. It's not just some, words, philosophy. It's a song. So this is traditional. And this way, most people, of course, as far as reading and writing were concerned, until recently, most people were called illiterate. But they would imbibe the whole teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for instance, through the songs of Narottam Das Thakur and other great devotees, singing about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, his teachings, his associates, and so on and so forth. In this way, it was very easy to put to memory. You remember them. Dramas, another way, which the pastimes were embedded or in people's consciousness and hopefully bona fidely done. In this way, through drama, poetry, music, etc., our culture, this is culture. Through the culture, people will become conscious of Krishna, Krishna culture, conscious of Krishna through the culture, right from birth. This will be inculcated in people's consciousness. They're conscious of Krishna, simple as that. And we see in India today that although they may not be taking it very seriously or following it, but practically everyone to some degree is conscious of Krishna. Maybe as a baby in the womb they were hearing, or at least as a young child the grandmother was telling stories about Krishna, or they heard about Krishna from here and there. There's some consciousness there. So we read on, and this is to remember. The whole purpose of this is to remember Krishna. The idea of all that we do is to remember Krishna. Chanting, hearing, remembering is one of the processes, of course, but everything else is really to come to this point of remembering Krishna always, constantly. It appears that Mother Yasoda did not want to forget Krishna's activities at any time. This is our prayer, isn't it? That, my dear Lord Krishna, please, you were sitting, Prabhupada gave this prayer. He said, this is the only prayer we really need. Or sometimes he said, how can I serve you? But he also said that about this one. My dear Lord Krishna, you are sitting in my heart as a super soul, and you can do anything you like. Please do not put me into forgetfulness. Please always remind me to chant Hare Krishna. So as Mother Yasoda was chanting the pastimes of the Lord, which is Sankirtan, we may also, but we may sing bhajans. It's good to be conscious of what we're singing. Not just to sing is great. That's also wonderful. But you have to be conscious also. In all your activities, be conscious of me. It was good to be conscious of Krishna. To remember, or at least to be aware of what we're singing. Sometimes we sing Samsara Dava or Sri Guru Charana Padma. And we may be aware, of course, but many times we may not be aware also. We just sang Jai Radha Jai Krishna. We didn't read, because of time, the translation, but you can read it yourself, about all the wonderful pastimes of Krishna in Braj. So to be conscious as we sing, this helps to embed the whole mood into our hearts. Remembering Krishna. The goal of life is to remember Krishna at the time of death, sometimes we hear. We should be remembering him at every moment, so the devotees in Vrindavan remember him at every moment by singing about him. And of course it's their own language, so it's easy to focus on the meaning. The meaning is their own language, so it's immediately understood. Sometimes devotees do compile songs in Dravida Prabhu, for instance, the wonderful Prabhupada disciple, BBT editor in San Diego. He puts many of these pastimes into poetic song, so we can, sing them and remember these pastimes also very nicely. She didn't want to forget. Therefore, she poeticized all of Krishna's childhood activities, such as the killing of Putana, Agasura, Shakatasura, and Trinavart. And while churning the butter, she sang about these activities in poetical form. It's something which you have to use your common sense, but in general, it's recommended that when we do other things, like in the case here, Mother Yasoda is in the kitchen area preparing sweets, that one would sing at the same time. Chant Hare Krishna or recite Bhagavat at the same time, which we may do. More common now is to listen to a tape recorder playing, but that's also not bad, but it's not as good as, and because you can sing along with a tape recorder. To engage our tongue, to engage our whole being in glorification of Krishna. So singing along communally, even when cleaning the temple, sometimes you hear devotees singing. It was communal singing when I joined the whole temple. Every single devotee would clean for 30 minutes after, or before breakfast. We would clean for 30 minutes. The whole temple would be cleaned. Everyone had different services, but there was everyone was chanting. It was congregational throughout the whole temple. This was going on. Constant chanting. Something like Lord Chaitanya in the Gundicha temple, when they cleansed the Gundicha temple, they're all chanting. Are they chanting in the kitchen? Something they're chanting, something. I don't know what they're chanting.
Meeting.
Huh?
They're doing meeting.
They're having a meeting. Meeting, mating, meat eating. Better. Baba said, meetings, this, that, the other, so many. And no solutions, huh? Better you chant Hare Krishna. Chanting. Lord Chaitanya, when they were cleansing the Gunjita temples, they didn't speak anything. They just, if you wanted something, you said Hare Krishna. It was like automatic. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada writes in several places, in all the activities we should chant the holy name at the same time. While eating, while sleeping, while serving, while walking, while talking. I don't know how you chant while you're talking at the same time. That's good. Even while eating sometimes. Internally, maybe internally. There's a nice example of this. I remember I used to have a strong affinity with St. Francis of Assisi at one point of my life. And I did. I mean, I can see a problem. When it was confirmed by Srila Prabhupada, of course, that he was self-realized soul. Prabhupada said St. Francis was a self-realized soul, his own words. So, not an ordinary personality by any means. So one time he was asked should we walk? When we have to go to preach, should we walk to go to preach? And St. Francis said, if your walking is not preaching, you shouldn't go anywhere. In other words, everything you do should be in that mood. Not you, like you go to Sunday school, Sunday church or something once a week, but it shouldn't be like that. It should be 24/7. I did my service. I already did it. I went on Sankirtan last week. Why are you asking me again? I did it. Or I chanted my rounds and finished. I offered my obeisances this morning. Why are you asking me to do it again? I did my 3 hours service. Leave me alone, please. That means we're really not quite tuned in to what we're here for, or what the purpose of it is. 24/7, constant service. And chanting, why chanting? Service itself is absolutely marvelous. Jiva Goswami says that, as we chant at the same time, it helps us to be a little bit less on the doer platform. We have a tendency to think I'm the doer. But, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the doer. It's mine. But it helps us a little bit to remember that this is not just... Devotional service is sometimes seen as a means to an end, or to achieve something, not even an end, but to achieve something right now. But devotional service is the constitution of the soul. It's our very nature. It's not just something we do to get something. It is our nature. It may not be pure, so to speak, at our present state, but by associating with pure devotional service, then our consciousness can become purified. And that's what it means, in one sense. Left this world in the self-same body. Of course, there's other angles of that, but once fully absorbed in devotional service, it's considered one's body is no longer material, because that's the nature of the self. To be fully engaged, there's no question of, I've done enough, now what? I'm retiring. There's no question of that in the spiritual world. Mother Yasoda says something like that, oh my God, you're old enough now, go away or something, Look after yourself. I've had enough. I'm too tired. Yeah. Something. No, it's ever increasing intensity of love between Mother Yasoda and Krishna. One increases the other, and the never-ending spiral of loving relationships going on. And this pastime is like the cream of that example, or that relationship, to such an extent that even Radharani was simply hankering for the kind of loving rapport which was going on here between Yasoda and Krishna. It's in a different rasa, but the principle's the same. The intensity of the love that's being exchanged here. This should be the practice of persons eager to remain in Krishna conscious 24 hours a day, Prabhupada says. This incident shows how Krishna conscious Mother Yasoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. It means we should follow their mood. It's not that we simply physically follow. I mean, one time, one of a dear godbrother, a very wonderful devotee, but he had this tendency to go wherever Prabhupada went, he suddenly popped up there. And Srila Prabhupada, you are the greatest devotee of the Lord. I bow down at your lotus feet again and again. Bathe my consciousness in the dust of your lotus. Prabhupada said, why don't you do something? Simply coming here, there, and praying, just do something. This following the footsteps means more than just physical, geographical maneuvers. Following the footsteps is to imbibe the mood. The activities are only of value if they help us to imbibe the mood in the bigger picture. They have benefit, but it takes a long time. But it's to imbibe the mood, to understand the mood of the pure devotees. What is it Is it the activities? Is it their mood? The Prabhupada says it's the attitude, the mood within, which captures Krishna's heart. The same, even at our stage. Of course, we're kids, we're babies, so it's natural as Krishna manifests a childlike response in this chapter, which is, in one sense, unbecoming, unimaginable for God to behave the way he does. Nobody, unless they're really fortunate, can understand what's going on here. But in our own Krishna consciousness movement, it's a process of rectifying, renovating our attitude, renovating our consciousness, not just doing things. Doing things is solely and wholly for that purpose. I mean, it's to spread Krishna consciousness also, but primarily to awaken Krishna consciousness within our hearts. And Krishna consciousness is not a mechanical imposition, it's a natural awakening when the heart becomes cleansed and yabilasita shunyam jnana kamajanavattam. Anukulena Krishna anushilana, it means favorable, when our service is favorable to Krishna. Two people may be doing the same thing, but one is favorable and one's not. It depends on their consciousness, on their relationship, their attitude, the motivation, the feeling inside. That's what Krishna really relishes. It's not so much the butter, the ghee, and the yogurt, and the sweets, and what have you, but it's the love within. They automatically manifest out of love, you could say. So it's the love within, but that love for Krishna. Simply, the only desire is to see that Krishna is pleased. The only reason the residents of Vrindavan, because there's many angles there too, allowed Krishna to go to Mathura was because he wanted to. That's what he wants, although it's bitterly painful. What can we do? Our only purpose is to try to facilitate what Krishna wants. That's, you could say, one angle or one result of pure devotional service by associating with somebody whose only desire is that. What does Krishna want? Not what do I want, what do we want, what do we think? We may have to go through that, of course, in our practicing stage, but ultimately it's all only motivation is what Krishna wants. What will bring pleasure to Krishna? And that's Mother Yasoda's motivation, everything that this chapter unfolds. In every respect, this is going on in this pastime, although it doesn't always look like that, but that's what's actually going on here. How to bring more pleasure to Krishna. And by hearing about this, maybe it helps us a little bit to wake up, shake up, and get a little bit off the ego platform. Devotional service becomes anushilanam, cultivate that which is pleasing to Krishna. Developing. Even in relationships of an ordinary nature, you can easily tell within the heart of hearts, if you are very knowing to each other, close to each other, the inner attitude of the other person. They may be going through the external mechanics, but you can feel inside they're not really, it's not really love which is going on here, it's something else. It's kind of, when you really know somebody, so, we don't really know Krishna, but we do have some opportunity to hear or to experience the association of those who know, at least know more. Their relationship is closer to Krishna. And in their presence it helps us to at least desire to become a little closer to Krishna. And as Prabhupada says here, we should follow in their footsteps. This is also the instruction of Rupa Goswami, of course, the nectar of instruction, isn't it? That we have to follow in the footsteps of the Brajbasis, the Vagatmikas. Those who are perfect devotees of the Lord. They have no blemishes of any kind, unalloyed, pure devotion. And in their presence, or their association, following their instructions, one can gradually imbibe or awaken this natural attraction towards Krishna. Okay, we're going to finish there for today. We're going to probably, tomorrow we're going to do the same. We're going to go on with the Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 10th canto, 9th chapter tomorrow, text number 3. Is that okay? Saprine, is that okay? Pardon?
Yes.
Sorry? Yes? Did you hear what I said?
You asked me that Rasa Prana is okay.
Huh?
Yes, you asked me Rasa Prana is okay.
What? He just said yes, there's going to be fasting all day long today. And he just said yes to it. No. Okay, yes it is. Tomorrow morning, Krishna willing. Let's see. Some of you will be in Lyon. You're leaving for Lyon tomorrow? Today? You're going today?
Yes.
Who's going? You and Ekanath? Just the two of you?
Yes.
Good. The others are going to stay back and distribute books, aren't they?
Exactly.
Good, good, good. That's good news. Hare Krishna. Harina's here. She's hopefully going to have a time to distribute some books this next few days. She's here for a week, isn't it? 1 week. And getting warmed up, just getting back into action and for France, for the marathon coming in a few weeks' time. And just to learn how to distribute books. Abdullah's come over from London here. It's good training in Paris. It's different to London.
Very austere.
You did well yesterday. And a Sanktan leader from Germany, Vedasar. He heads up the book distribution in Germany. He's here for 5 days. 5 days. And yeah. We're here till Wednesday. And Jivananda Bro is here till Tuesday. You're leaving Tuesday or Wednesday?
I believe Tuesday.
Pardon? Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. He's here till Tuesday. So as much Sankirtan as possible the next few days would be very nice. Whatever is possible. It might rain, but what can we do? That's how it is. We'll do our best. And Krishna will do the rest. Just try.
Sure.
Hare Krishna. Maybe Harinam, I don't know if devotees can get it together if you want to. There's a few devotees here as well. It may not be distributing books if they have maybe got other services to do, but otherwise there's nothing to stop anyone going out into the city or anywhere. You can even just go here, just dance and chant on the street, isn't it? Wherever. It's Lord Chaitanya's given that to everyone. Open order, basically speaking. Just go everywhere and chant. This helps us to stay a little in Krishna consciousness and helps others to at least start to think, what is this Hare Krishna all about? Who are these Hare Krishnas? Why are they making so much noise? It's like this morning I came down, I don't know what was going on. The only reason I came down, I heard all this noise down here. Making so much noise down here. Who was leading today, Kirtan? Who was the culprit? He's German, so I don't know. Are you German? Thought so. He's German, so too much. Phew. Okay, any questions? You read the scores already, have you? Yeah. As they do after class in London.
Here it's also individual, so you have to pull your weight, pull your socks up because it's individual score, so your name will be called out in the morning.
Oh my God, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's humiliating, embarrassing, and if you're a little proud, puff you up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It has its benefits. There's another side of looking at it, but it's a fact. You see your heart. You see your heart to a certain extent. Yeah?
Most definitely.
And today, Dayatai Prabhu distributed 2,000 Bhagavad Gita! Jai! Oh no, Prabhu, I did nothing at all. It was really Krishna. It was just, I don't know what happened, Actually, I was driving the van on Sankirtan and it went into the river. They all got distributed into the river. They were all in the river saying. But they're counted distributed, right? I mean, they're gone. I mean, maybe the fish will read them or something. Yeah? The fish. Sounds a bit fishy to me. I mean, you can say any damn thing you like, can't you, really? I mean, nobody really knows. You can go out with your book bag and just leave all the books in a corner somewhere. I've distributed all my books. But that's not the point, you know. The point is in the heart, change of heart. That's what's going to take place here. Change of heart. It's a penance. It certainly is. It's a penance. I mean, for most people, it's actually a penance. Going on the street trying to distribute books. It's kind of like, oh, I approach people and they say this and that. And, oh, geez, it's horrible. And there's a police are coming after me, and oh no. And yeah, I'm going to look a fool, you know. I look like a fool stood out here with my bed sheets on, and it's cold. It's too cold. Look at them all. They're all eating their Krispy Kremes, and I'm just stood here. Krispy Kreme, is that what it's called?
Creamy crispy.
Huh?
Krispy Kreme?
Crispy cream.
Krispy Kreme.
That shop down there.
Donuts, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, that's what I said, Krispy Kreme. That shop down there in Châtelet. Huh? Is it called Krispy Kreme? That donut shop?
Krispy Kreme.
Yes, it's a French dish.
I know, enjoying them all.
Different.
I'm stood here and people are telling me to get lost. And no one's taken a book. I've been here 3 years. Maybe I should sell maybe I'll do better selling donuts, you know. It's austere thinking. But that's how the heart change can also take place. You know. Penance. Penance. Any comments?
On book distribution or the class?
Anything. Yes, Veda.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
I was talking to your namesake in the middle of the night last night in Atlanta. He's the temple president of Atlanta Temple, Vedasar. Long talk to him last night. I just mentioned one thing. Do you know about his program? You know Vedasar from Atlanta? Does anyone know him?
I know one.
You know him from Bangladesh, right? He's got tens of thousands of people all over Europe chanting Hare Krishna on his programs. In Bulgaria, in Germany, and Holland's the biggest. In French, Belgium, he's got hundreds of French Belgians in his group chanting the holy name. Gradually, step by step. 5 of them got initiated by Kadamba Kanamai just before he left the world. It's behind the scene program going on, step by step, bringing people up to pure devotion. Super intelligent guy. Interesting. He's keen to, but he's got to have a link, he's got a connection, and he works into France. We're going to try to start introducing it in France also. All Westerners, he doesn't deal with Indians. He's Indian himself. Born Indian. So the Indian people are not interested in his program. He doesn't get any Indians. Only Westerners. Anyway, maybe he's over blowing up, I don't know, but that's what he told me. Yes, Veda.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. First I want to tell a small story of Kripa Sindhu Prabhu, a book distributor, and then a related story regard to the Damodar Leela.
Where's Kripa Sindhu from?
He's from Austria.
Okay, good.
He's distributing for 10 years books, and he was...
an ocean of mercy.
Yeah. And he was telling a story that one day he planned the day before to make big the other day. But
make a big day?
To distribute a lot of books the next day. Yeah. To wake up really early in the morning, have a good sadhana and everything.
Yeah.
But then he overate in the evening. He woke up late, he chanted only half of his rounds, and then he said, oh my God, Krishna, please help me. It's only you can distribute these books now, because I totally spoiled the whole thing. It can't be me now if I distribute all the books. And it was miraculous the whole day. He distributed all the books. In the end of the day, his whole carriage was empty. Wow. So that was a really strong...
Eat a lot at night, get up late, chant only a few rounds. You have to do this. That's
amazing.
I like this technique. This is really good. Okay, there must be more to the story than meets the eye.
Yeah, so he was completely because before he was all the time like endeavoring and thinking of this, it's me who's doing, like I'm the big book distributor. And then Krishna brought him this experience, well, Krishna can distribute
anything.
Now
this is really a good idea. I don't need to do anything now. And if no books go out, that's Krishna's fault, right? My fault. I asked him to do it and he didn't do it, what can I do? I did my part, I overate and I overslept and I didn't chant, but he didn't do his part. Interesting, you can look at it the other way too. And then you think the same thing is going to happen the next day? It won't.
Yeah, so that's my question, how to see it in the right light, because I mean the story of the Damodar Lila is you make an endeavor and you work hard labor, and then Krishna...
Well, I guess he did work hard.
Yeah.
He must have done. Sometimes Krishna does that. I remember one time we had one devotee in London. He was a top book distributor, but he had the worst sadhana in the temple, and he used to eat like an elephant. His motivation for distributing books was to get all the maha the next morning. This was in 1976, I think. And that was the reward. So doing the top book distribution, you got all the maha and you could do what you like with it. And the maha was really special. It wasn't like, just cold porridge and cold khichdi, which is probably what it would be if you just got the maha now. But it was like all the special preps, samosas, ladus, sweet rice, puris. Everyone else has like khichdi and poppadoms or something. You get the whole maha. So that was one of his main motives, was to be seen as, he liked doing books. He was a salesman, he liked selling things. So when Trivikram Swami was giving class one morning, he asked Maharaj, he said, Maharaj, I just don't understand it. I've got he openly admitted, he said, I've got the worst sadhana in the whole temple. If I'm lucky, I'm like 11 o'clock at night, he's trying to mumble off some mantras. And he said, you get up in the morning practically. But every day, almost every day, I distribute the most books. I don't understand what's going on here. It doesn't seem to fit. Trivikram said, what would you do if you didn't get, good scores? He said, I'd pack my bags probably and leave. I'd probably walk out. What is there for me? He said, that's why Krishna's arranging this. He's helping you. He's helping you. He's trying to keep you. Gradually become purified. Became a really good devotee. Yeah, he drifted off for quite a long time, but when he came back again, he was a really good devotee. All the fruits of his early service bore. So Krishna has his plan. He has his plan for each and every one of us. In this case, is to help that devotee to realize that you're not the real doer. We have to, we are one of the doers. You have to play your part. Krishna didn't just say, think of me, Arjuna. He said, fight and think of me. Depend upon me. So we go to battle, but we do depend. We know we're not dependent on the result, we're depending on Krishna. We make our endeavor, but we're not depending on the result. You may sometimes get... I remember one day, it wasn't the first marathon, we re-established it. It was 2017 or 16, we restarted the marathon in France. It hadn't been going on. First year was real small. And then I think it was the next year, and it was Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj's Tirubhav, so I thought, this day will be the day. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, book distribution. And I chose what I thought was a good spot. There's only a few of us going out. I went with the back to him. And I didn't go with the back. I went alone. I left really early. I went really early, as quick as I could. And my determined was to stay a long day and try to do, a record for modern time book distribution. I went to this spot, which previously I'd thought was good. And I was there for about 5 hours, one book. €1, one book. Small book. Good guy! But I was a little bit frustrated, and then I saw the back to join me and I said, let's go somewhere else. He'd never been on Sankhan before, on the train. He sold a bag of Gita to someone on the train. And we got out, and we went to Montreux. And another 2 hours, one book. And that was to a crazy lady who took me 1 hour to get away from her. Anyway, 2 books, €2, all day long. Today, sometimes it's like that, you know. Krishna reciprocates accordingly. We can't say, today I'm going to do this, today I'm going to do that, I am going to do a big day, or whatever it is. To remember that we're just offering ourselves to the Lord. We can pray that we can, become more instrumental. That we would like to see more of the glory, your glory spread. If you wish, I would like to offer myself as an instrument. We may not be in that mood. We may be in a competitive mood. The competitive side has its part. We're kids, so parents, they create all kinds of competitive things. Prabhupada liked competition, and he would use that as well. That was a big thing, especially in marathons, competition. To incite the boys to get more spirited. We try to learn from internally, externally. Everything has its part to play. And the other part?
You answered already.
Huh?
You answered already my question.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. You can understand. You try to see every situation in relation to Krishna. That's the idea. Whether you do 100 books or no books, try to see it in relation to Krishna. Whether recognized or not recognized. Why they didn't read my name out? They read the score and say, why you missed my name? So, you kind of feel like, As I see things, well, Krishna has a reason, because you're attached to reading your name. Why they, criticize me? Too much false ego. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you mentioned this Indian devotee who does some online program. I didn't hear the name.
Vedasar.
Oh, his name is also Vedasar. He's from India.
Well, he's originally from India, from Assam, but he's the temple president of the Atlanta temple. That's why I'm going to Atlanta in a few days. Unfortunately, he's not there. He just left just now, actually, 4 o'clock. He's leaving in a few minutes to India from Atlanta. He won't be there, but it's his program. He's got this program over many years. He's a temple president. 20 years he's been TP there. And this is his main preaching outlet.
The Krishna house?
No, nothing to do with it. Totally different. This is like a parallel program. You won't see it in the temples. It's parallel. It's going on outside. But the majority of people chanting Hare Krishna, you don't even know who they are. They're all outside the movement altogether. And ordinary people walking on the street. Thousands of them all over the place. We're hardly scratching the surface. We should be the lights which they become attracted to, not necessarily in the bigger picture. Different ways of bringing people to Krishna consciousness. I don't ask me all the details, we didn't get into it, but it's a step-by-step, it's a lifestyle program. And then gradually getting everyone to imbibe the holy name as part of the program, yoga, and all sorts of things, health, all sorts of things related to it. Eco-lifestyle, everything. Try to bring people to a better lifestyle, better way of living. And he brings in Hare Krishna, and he brings in Krishna consciousness step by step by step. Something like that. And then many of them are initiated in different parts of the world. Bulgaria is one of his main success places. He goes, but he only goes when there's someone there who's organizing the system. More than that, I don't really know. I heard about it the other day. Someone told me about it. I just heard a little bit about it last night. I no idea what, I can't remember what it's called. It's got a name. It's not just the institutional in-house. We're not the, it's not like some kind of monopoly or something. Krishna consciousness is not a monopoly as such. It's for everyone. different ways, many different methods must be there to spread Krishna consciousness. Many. We sometimes think only this way. No, many techniques must be there. The more the merrier. Social media, he said he was never go near social media. Then he started going, he got very quickly 30,000 people following him on social media. That's where people like to go. That's where they go. It's funny, huh? They listen to that, but they won't listen to you when you try to talk to them on the street or somewhere else. They go on the social media. Big thing. All these big people. Satguru is telling me he spends $13 million a year or something on publicity and marketing. Just where the market is. The marketing products. It's all going on out there. Of course, that's not the, ultimately that's not the solution. That's just a technique for presenting the solution. We have to actually practice that.
Maharaj, this is the voting.
Show me? Yeah, that's him.
That's it?
That's him. Interesting.
I think he's been in Netherlands.
He is very much active in Benelux.
Yeah, I've seen him in Netherlands previously.
I don't know. I've never met him. I may have met him when he was in the Gurukul in Mayapur. In the Gurukul. Hare Krishna. Amazing, huh? Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Oh, Premanandi. So is the butter ready? Is the butter ready? Otherwise I'm going around the corner. Oh, it's good butter. See if we can find the book. There's nothing like the book.